let's take a look at incomplete dominance patterns of inheritance. Incomplete dominant inheritance. When the recessive allele is present, the dominant allele is now fully expressed. Just like the example of the snapdragon in the image, when a white flower cross-fertilized with a red flower through true breeding, their offspring appear to be 100% pink colored. This is different compared to Mendelian inheritance, which only the dominant trait shows up. In the case of incomplete dominance, because of the recessive trait, the dominant trait red color only shows up partially to provide pink offsprings. The homozygous dominant individual example in this case is big R red snapdragon flower. And the homozygous recessive individual example in this case is small r white snapdragon flower. And the heterozygous individual example in this case is big R small r pink snapdragon flower. And now let's look at some questions for incomplete dominance, and this is also related with the previous slide. In snapdragons, flower color is controlled by incomplete dominance. The two alleles are red, dominant, represented by big R, and white, recessive, represented by small r. The heterozygous genotype is expressed as pink. So big R, small r will express pink flower. What is the phenotype of a plant with the genotype big R, big R? This is homozygous dominant, so this will produce red flower. And what is the phenotype of a plant with the genotype big R, small r? This is the heterozygous genotype, so this will be pink flower. And what is the phenotype of plant with the genotype small r, small r? This is homozygous recessive, so this will be white flower. And number 7, a pink flower plant is crossed with a white flower plant. What is the probability of producing a pink flower plant? So pink flower crossing white flower. The genotype on the top for pink plant will be big R, small r, and for white flower plant on the left will be small r, small r. And after crossing the Punnett square, we see that 50% chance the genotype for the offspring will be expressed as big R, small r, which is pink flower plant. So 50% chance. Number 8. What cross will produce the most pink flower plants? Show a Punnett square to support your answer and explain. Okay, in order to solve this question, to produce the most pink flower plants, we need to know that our goal is to get the offspring's genotype to be big R, small r. And since the offspring gets one allele from each parent, we need to make sure that one parent provide big R allele and one parent provide small r allele. And in order to make sure that one parent will provide big R allele, that this parent will have to be homozygous dominant. And in order for the parent to provide small r allele, this parent will have to be homozygous recessive. In this case, after we cross the Punnett square, we get 100% big R, small r genotype, and the phenotype will be pink flower. So in order to produce the most pink flowered plants. One of the parent will have to be bigger homozygous dominant and the other parent will have to be smaller homozygous recessive. Since the offspring gets one running out of space, from parent.